All right, guys, we're going to start on the second page of our study guide now. First question. Ralph's T-shirt company sells custom T-shirts for $5 each plus a $20 shipping and design fee. Frank's T-shirt company sells T-shirts for $10 each with no additional fees. Let X represent the number of shirts sold and Y represent the total cost. First thing we need to do today is come up with our system of equations. We will look at Ralph's first because his is $5 for every shirt. That's going to be our slope or our rate of change, but then he has the additional $20 fee for shipping. When we have Frank's is just a flat fee. His is just $10 for every shirt and there's no additional fee. So there is our system of equations. We're going to solve this by graphing them. So in the first one, we'll graph Ralph's. We start at positive 20. That's our y-intercept, so that's our starting point. And our slope is 5. So that means we go up 5, and you notice this is going up by 10, so halfway. So up 5 over 1. Up 5 over 1. Up 5 over 1. And continuing on. And that gives us enough to graph this right here. And then we have Frank. Because there is no y-intercept, we start down here at the origin, and it's just going up 10, that's our slope, and then over 1. Up 10 over 1. Up 10 over 1. We have enough to graph that. Okay. And it says solve the system by graphing. Well, if you take a look, they intersect at the point 440. Now it says, what does the solution mean in the context of this problem? And you guys, quite often my camera will stop. I'll always catch back up, just so you know if it freezes for a minute. So what does this mean in the context of this situation? It means that both companies charge $40 for 4 t-shirts. That's what that will mean in the context of this problem. All right, for the next 3 problems, we have to use substitution in order to solve. All right, and when you're substituting, you want it to say X or Y equals something. So in this first case, it says it. In the third case, it says it, but it does not say it in the second case, so we'll have to make it say that. But we'll get there in just a minute. All right, first one. Because we know that Y is the value we're substituting, we're going to substitute it in right here. So we rewrite the second equation, X plus 3 times, and then instead of Y, you put 1/2 X minus 5, and that is equal to 20. You need to distribute. So we have X plus, well, 3 times 1/2 is 1.5X. 3 times minus 5 is negative 15, and that is equal to 20. If I combine these two, I get 2.5X. I need to add 15 to both sides so that I get all my constants on one side, so that is equal to 35. Now to solve this problem, all I need to do is I need to divide both sides by 2.5. And if I divide both sides by 2.5, I end up with let's see, all right, 35 divided by 2.5, and I get 14. So that is my X value. And remember, X comes first. We still need to solve for the Y value. So that just says, okay, in order to solve for Y, what is half of 14? It's 7. And 7 minus 5 would be 2. Okay? And there's our first one. Now in the second one, we do not have an X or a Y equals, so I'm going to solve the first one for that. I'm going to say minus y, So that now I have x is equal to 8 minus y. So I'm not going to use the first one anymore. I'm going to use this one. And in place of the x, I'm going to put 8 minus y. So rewrite it. So it's 3 times 8 minus y plus 2y is equal to 8. Do not forget to distribute. So I get 24 minus 3y plus 2y equals 8. I'm going to combine my like terms and I get a negative y. I want to get my constants on the other side, so I need to subtract 24 on both sides. And if I say 8 minus 24, I get a negative 16. Because I have a negative y, I really don't want a negative, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. And that gives me the first part of my solution. Now it's not the x value, remember it is the y, and y is 16. If I know that y is 16, to get 8, I'm going to say 8 minus 16, because that's what y is. 8 minus 16 is a negative 8. That is the solution that I'm looking for. In our next one, we have the y value. We are going to replace it in the first equation. So we're going to say negative 5x plus 6, and instead of y, I put 5, 6x plus 2. And then I still have plus 2 in this equation. No, I don't. I have equals 12. Wrong equation. Equals 12. All right. Distribute. So I have negative 5x. Those cancel, and I'm just left with plus 5x. 6 times 2 is a positive 12, and that equals 12. Well, if you notice, both of those cancel. And because 12 is equal to 12, that is a true statement. Whenever it's true, it means you have infinitely many solutions. Now remember, had this been something that was false, like 5 equals 12, then it would be a no solution right here. Okay? But because this was a true statement, it means that there are infinitely many solutions. That was your substitution method. The next 3 we're going to solve by eliminating. All right, in the first one, the x's can cancel, so that's eliminated. Now all we need to do is combine our y's. 5 minus 2 gives me a 3y. 19 minus 4 is 15. Divide both sides by 3, and y is equal to 5. Now that's just our y portion. We still have to figure out what x is. So pick either one of these. I'm going to pick the top one. X plus 5y. So 5 times 5 is 25. So that would be x plus 25 equals 19. So I'd have to subtract 25 from both sides. And if I do that, I get a negative 6. So that would be my solution. Now in my second problem, there's nothing that cancels. But if I take the entire bottom row and multiply it by a positive 2, I will get something that will cancel. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 5 is positive 10y, and 2 times 47 is 94. So now we're not going to use this anymore. We are combining these two. 10y, negative 10y, cancel. 3x and 2x gives me a 5x. In this case, if I add these two together, I get a positive 10. I can divide both sides by 5, and x is equal to 2. Now remember, that is your x value. You still need to find your y value. So you can go up here to any one of these, plug it in, and solve. So I'll just do the second one. So x is 2, so I'd have to subtract 2 on both sides, and I get 5y equals 45. So that means that y would be 9. In my next one, the y's will eliminate. They're gone. 4 minus 2 is just 2x. A negative 4, negative 2 gives me a negative 6. If I divide both sides by 2, I get x being a negative 3. That is my first portion. X is negative 3. We still need to solve for y. So just plug it into either one. I'll choose the bottom one. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. So now I have a negative 2 minus 6, which gives me 8. So 8y equals 8. So y is, actually it's negative, so it would be a negative 1. And that would be my solution for this one. All right, so we have talked about graphing, we have talked about substitution, and we have talked about elimination so far. Again, I will stop this video and then I'll make a new one for the next page.